Lanny Davis is a communications advisor to Michael Cohen. He was previously one of Cohen's attorneys. Davis is here for his first morning network television interview since Cohen's sentencing. Good morning.
Morning, Norah.
The prosecutors in this case said that Cohen elected not to pursue more fulsome cooperation. What else does he know about President Trump that he is not telling?
I don't know. The lawyer for Mr. Cohen never shared that information with me, and neither did Michael. And I know that he wanted to come in and talk to the prosecutors in the Southern District, and they waited until the Friday before the guilty plea on Monday. And I don't know why they waited, but I do know that he fully cooperated with Mr. Mueller, who complimented him and gave him full credit for that.
Well, Lanny, part of his sentence is 2 months for lying to Congress, which we heard from the Mueller team.
Right.
When you were here in August 22nd, earlier this year, you were asked if he was telling the truth when he spoke and testified before Congress. You said yes. So was your client not being forthright with you, or were you not being forthright with us?
I think the testimony that I was referring to was on another subject than the one about the Trump Tower, which I knew nothing about, never had heard about. But the answer is yes, I believe that he had been truthful in his testimony before Congress.
Is that what he told you?
Yes.
There's still a lot of eye rolls, I think, for Michael Cohen yesterday. You know, he talked about his love of country, his love of his family. And I think some people say, where was his love of country and his love of family that he only agreed to cooperate when when he was in trouble and his butt is on the line? What do you say to that?
Well, first I'd ask everybody to please read his statement yesterday. I was even struck by his ownership and his lack of taking a victim, but full personal responsibility. And it's a very moving statement if you read it. The other thing I would say is in 1974, John Dean had committed obstruction of justice, paid hush money, did a lot of very, very evil and highly criminal activity. And yet we did finally give him a new life when he spoke the truth to the Congress. And that may happen to Michael Cohen, it may not. But
how does he feel about Mr. Trump now?
Very, very scared for the country and for his family, which is his primary reason for calling me. And he had to convince me over several hours of conversation that he deeply had changed and had been transformed, is the word he used. But it was because of a fear of Donald Trump and the country and his family, as he said to Mr. Stephanopoulos in his first interview.
But Michael Cohen is going to jail in part because of these arrangements to the women that Trump allegedly had an affair with. He has also provided, according to the special counsel Robert Mueller, useful information concerning discrete Russia-related matters core to the investigation that he obtained by virtue of his regular contact with company executives at the Trump Organization. What else does your client know about contacts and coordination between the Russian government and the Trump campaign?
So I really don't know the specifics, but I know that when Mr. Mueller uses the expression core, Mr. Mueller gave great credit to the cooperation for 70 hours and 7 meetings. There was a stutter step in the first meeting, which was corrected, that Mr. Mueller noted. But the core word is about the heart of Mr. Mueller's assignment on collusion. So
Does he have more to tell Mr. Mueller?
I don't know beyond the 70 hours, but I suspect that there is always more detail that can be filled in by Mr. Mueller.
And Lanny, you know, it does come down to credibility, and you know what the president and his supporters are saying. They're saying that Mr. Cohen is a liar and that he's weak and not to be trusted. Why should the American public trust Michael Cohen?
Well, first of all, to have President Trump use the word lie when he was on Air Force One and denied making any payments, only to have Rudy Giuliani immediately say, oh, yes, he did, is somewhat obvious to people that that's not a strong defense by Mr. Trump. I think that Michael has a challenge to convince people that he's credible. And now there's corroborating testimony with the AMI. And finally, I would remind everyone that it's about facts. It's not about believing someone. And those facts have to be corroborated.
All right, Lanny Davis, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Joining us today.